There
we go. Thank
there
you.
we go. So the question I ask is, do you know what's going on in the world around you? And why should you care? Why should you care?
Well, is that a question directed at me, Tim?
Anybody. Anybody. Do you know, Petra, but do you know what's going on?
I have no idea what's going on because I don't watch the news. I usually just hear things from everyone else like you. But I have had my nose in the books and in my computer and my arms in taxes, trying to get my tax done. So I have no idea what's going on, but I know you're going to share, and whatever it is, it's affecting someone, some being across the world regardless. And we are one big community. So wherever, whatever's happening, there are people that are obviously suffering.
Definitely.
So Tim.
So I don't want to go, I don't want to go political, but here you've got Russia and Ukraine, and Russia sort of taking over without a war, but creating their own little war without being actually at war with Ukraine, and then America and then France and Europe jumping in and saying, we're going to install sanctions on Russia. So we got a lot of our community are in Russia, in Ukraine, all over those areas. So, but that's not the key question about how it's going to, well, it's going to affect us, yes, but we've got an opportunity for them because now they can operate outside of their economies. If they are going to go into a war, and I see somebody put World War III, maybe, maybe not, who knows? But if you're in Australia or New Zealand or South Africa, how does what's going on in Russia and Ukraine affect you? Well, it's going to affect you in your pocket because of the price of oil. So you can argue and you can debate why this war's happening. It's because Biden is creating all this mess because he needs to deflect because it's elections coming soon, and or primaries or whatever they call them. You can say many things, but in the end, what will end up by happening is, and it's happened already in the past week, the price of oil skyrockets. So when the price of oil skyrockets, what happens to the price of our petrol in South Africa? Right, goes up. When the price of petrol goes up, what else goes up?
Food, everything.
Everything, I mean, correct. Everything
that everyone relies on, the basic need.
Right. The basic need. So your expenses, your personal inflation jumps again. And if you've never worked it out, personal inflation is sitting at around 25% per year in South Africa. And I believe most countries is not far off that. So here's a big reason that you maybe haven't considered into why you want to just prick up your ears and listen to what we're going to share with you this evening. Because you need additional cash flow. Can you go to your boss tomorrow and say, hey, boss man, you've heard about this war going on. I heard about it last night. I went on YouTube and I listened to some news things. This is war, prices are going up. Inflation's already at 7.5%. They think maybe, you know what, price is going to go up by 10, 15. I need a 25% pay increase this year, please, so that I can just afford to breathe.
Sure. Good luck to the 1% that can.
No boss is going to give that. So if you're not going to get that extra money from your job or potentially even from your business, the economies at the moment, if you're stable in your business, it's great. But to grow with a 25% increase every year for your personal income is very rare. Yeah. So if you can't rely on that one income stream, where else are you going to get money from?
That's great. And you know what?
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you know what? And that's the thing, where are you going to get income from another income stream? As we know, you know, COVID hurt so many people as it is. I mean, I lost all of my income streams. Some of you know that have been on these calls with us before. I lost every single corporate client. I've got a nonprofit as well, which of course we weren't getting the donations that we usually have before. So we couldn't help as many as we used to help. So, I mean, that was hard enough. Now add all of this as well. Wherever we are in the world, you know, we're feeling it. So
there we go. Yeah. Definitely. Don't wait till you need it. Be very cautious about falling back into that comfort zone because, oh, at least I've got my job. Yes, but you maybe have now. A friend of mine was in retrenchment meetings yesterday. She works for a huge organization, believing that she would never be affected. but I had a little chat with her. I've been retrenched before, twice. Nasty stuff. Anyway, so I just wanted to put it out there as to perhaps another reason why you need to look at this. You're thinking, I've got money now, I'm okay now. Why do I want this? Because the world is so unstable. There's so much uncertainty. Prices will go up. And if you want to have a better Christmas 2022, work on it now. So without more chit chat, because Petra and I can do this for a long time, we've got some important things to share and some testimonials from some fantastic things. So if you're new here for the first time, hang in there right till the end and listen to some people, their story about how GL, Gift of Legacy, which we're going to share, has impacted them greatly. So I'm going to just introduce Petra Laranja over there. She's already said to you that she has a non-profit. Follow her on Facebook and on Instagram. My wife now follows her, and I've had a look. Amazing things called 1365, and it's just doing one thing differently 365 days a year. And it doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be one. That's a non-profit, which she's hugely passionate about. She's also a very successful author. She's published a book on helping people move through this 6 inches between your ears, which is your change, your problems, your issues, how to get through it and how to work through it. So she's got a stunning husband. Don't pick on him. He owns a gym, so he knows. And she's also got fur kids, and that's a big connection of ours. Is our fur kids, our children, and the non-profits around that as well. So Petra, her background, her corporate experience, her clients, her ability to teach, to help, to coach, aligns herself beautifully in being an amazing presenter, and she's going to share a portion with you this evening. For now, I'm going to hand over to Petra.
Oh, thank you, Tim. Thank you so much for that. We always introduce ourselves because of, if you are here for the first time or the second time and you haven't met us before, if you've been here with us multiple times, then it's so great to see your faces, even though we don't always see you directly. Thank you for honoring the space. Thank you for honoring yourselves, your teams, the community, by just showing up. And we're so honored to have the privilege to share this with you. Tim and myself are sharing from our hearts, from our experience. I've been fortunate to share the screen with Tim since last year, this year, last year, somewhere down the line. But it's been an absolute treat. Like Tim said, we definitely share a heart for animals. In particular, we do a lot for humans as well, for the planet. But animals and rescue animals have our heartbeat per se. And and Tim and his wife Monica, with their little fur kids, are on an epic journey around South Africa, just visiting and exploring. I know that they've met with many of you when they've come through the small towns, which is exciting. So, and that's what I've loved about what Tim is doing, what he has done, is Tim had one of those jobs, one of those jobs, and he's been wonderfully unemployable and a digital nomad for a while now. And that's the great thing about not just being your own boss, but having the flexibility of multiple, I don't want to say streams of income, but yes, having multiple streams of income so that you have the freedom to live the life that you want, that you desire, that excites you. So, Tim also comes from a background in personal development, leadership, management skills, so helping his own business and other businesses level up with their employees, their leadership teams, etc. So we share that love as well. And he started in the hospitality industry. So Tim's knowledge in the professional industry, his critical brain that was being used is absolutely wonderful. He's a wealth of knowledge. So I'm really so blessed and grateful to share this with you, Tim. So Tim's got the left brain. We've both got the left brain, both got the right brain. And I think that's what works so nicely with us as well, with all our shared interests, our shared loves and passions and hearts. And we're going to be doing lots more together. But in the meantime, welcome to Gift of Legacy. Please just sit back and relax for the next 30-ish minutes. You have to do absolutely nothing. You just need to sit back, enjoy, and just wanted you to know that if you are here tonight, it's because whoever invited you either knows you well enough that they trust you to go on this journey with them, So that's nothing small. They've chosen to speak to you, which is amazing. They trust that you are a person of integrity, that you are a person that is selfless, that loves helping others, uplifting others as well, or else you wouldn't be here. Or maybe you're here because someone that doesn't know you so well got a feeling about you, got a vibe about you, and they have a feeling that you're going to enjoy the community. So wherever you sit, welcome to Gift of Legacy, and yes, by invitation only. So Tim's going to be driving the slides tonight. So we're going to go through it, and then he's going to hop on and share the intricacies, the behind the scenes, the hows, which is really, really, really exciting. So for now, I'm going to introduce you to Gift of Legacy, what we're about, why we're about. So Gift of Legacy, if you'd never heard of gifting communities before, you're not alone. I hadn't heard about it until last year, this time last year, or just a little bit earlier. I didn't know what a gifting community was, a gifting economy. I had no idea. I thought it was something new. Then I thought it was a scam. Then I thought it was too good to be true. So I went through all of those emotions. But the great thing is that as we unpack this, you'll see what it is. It's so simple in its essence. It is so, so, so simple. Pretty much what it is there's a beautiful algorithm that is built in to this community, and that's how we all ride the boards of abundance together, and it'll make more sense as we go. So up to now, been a well-kept secret for so many, but welcome to this beautiful journey that you're about to learn. To learn about. My grammar is shocking tonight. I don't know what's going on there. All right, so just a little excerpt out of this book called Conscious Evolution. Now, the space that I'm in is about social impact, social development, living consciously. How can we improve our own lives? How can we improve the lives of others? How have things shifted, and what does it mean going forward into the future? And this really is what it is. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You can read it on your own. But pretty much the economic paradigm is arising out of the breakdown of the top-down economic model, where we know that it's the 1% on top that get all the wealth, and then the balance is spread very thinly across the base. Where now we're all in a community of sharing, caring, gifting economics, and self-sufficient community. Sorry, there's someone that's drawing on the screen. If I can just ask you to please refrain from drawing on the screen, or else we're going to end up with a big scribble and we're going to have to stop and start again. Thank you. So as people are joining together, as we're coming together as a community, we've realized that we can't just rely on the government. We can't just rely on those structures. We've got to come together as communities to support each other. And what better way when you feel supported by a community of people that you trust, that trust you, and that you can work together for the better of everyone. So have a read. It's still a book that I need to get through. Okay. Cool. So just a quick disclaimer that this presentation is for information sharing only and is not to be construed as financial advice. Neither Tim nor myself nor Gift of Legacy are registered financial or tax advisors. As I said, we're just sharing from our perspective and our journey so far, and what you could potentially expect as well, should you wish to join us on this abundant journey. All right, so let's unpack Gift of Legacy a little bit. I mentioned earlier about, you're probably here if you are a person of integrity, if you are someone that believes in giving and receiving. Maybe you're someone that has believed in giving so much, but you've forgotten about the receiving part. And now is finally time to put on that oxygen mask on first, because when your oxygen mask is on, you can help so many others as well. I know that I've gotten stuck in that loop, as have so many others as well, where by nature we want to help others, so we prioritize everyone else. But here in the community, you can give and receive. You can bless others into abundance, which is so much fun, blessing others that you might not even know. And then you're helping others succeed while you uplift yourself. It doesn't have to be an either or. This is a win-win-win for everyone involved. So that's what really, really excites me about this. Alrighty, so if you've answered yes to any of the above, we are ready to get going. All right, so it's a global gifting activity. Now, if you're not too sure what that means, you saw earlier that people were popping in the chat, from all over the world. So over 80 countries so far that we have members and participants in. So there's no limitation of borders. And now with members, this we need to update. Absolutely. This was like from a few days ago. That's crazy. But the great thing is that we're uplifting communities. And by communities, it's, for example, myself, my own community, and communities globally. So we're creating abundance and self-development together. Now, self-development, as Tim mentioned earlier, it's something that we share in common. It's a love that we have to help everyone grow. If you're not growing, your life is not going to grow. What's going on internally is reflected externally in how you're showing up in your life. So this platform, this journey is guaranteed going to challenge you. It's going to challenge your growth mindset. It's going to challenge your abundance mindset. If you thought you were okay with receiving, trust me on this one, it's going to challenge so much. So the more we grow together, there is so much training that's going to be there. I know that Tim and Valissa are doing some awesome training this weekend. I'm doing training next weekend, so definitely hop on. But this is what we're doing together, right? We want to support each other. I don't want to be stuck in the same place that I am today in a year's time. And it's a great place where I am, but I want to grow. And we can do this together. All right, sacred economics, as I mentioned earlier. So financial gifting has been used around the world for centuries. It's just been off the mainstream. As governments over the centuries, were created, came in power, gifting economies obviously fell by the wayside a little bit. But in Africa, we refer to it as Ubuntu culture, which is communities helping each other. And it traces back to the history of money from ancient gifting economics. So it's 100% legal. It's just been off the mainstream for decades. So we've blessed millions into abundance. So it's sharing the wealth into the hands of many. And yes, across the world, across multiple gifting economies, millions get shared, whether it's daily or weekly, sometimes even hourly, sometimes monthly. Whatever the speed of it is people are getting blessed, and you'll experience that journey as well. And it's really about giving hope and education to people and blessing them into abundance. So this might sound all woo and peace, love, and happiness, and I'm all about peace, love, and happiness. Give me a tree and I'll hug it. But at the same time, there's a lot of science behind this, and that's what Tim's going to share. So I'm just sharing the hard stuff for now. But it's absolutely beautiful. So decentralized. This part, as much as I'm talking about peace, love, and happiness, this part is the one that made me feel safe. So if you've ever gotten involved in something, maybe a platform, or you've heard of someone that's gotten involved in a platform before, whether it's a MLM or a pyramid scheme or something, where they've put money somewhere onto a platform, and then someone that owns the platform or owns the company or the institution picks up and leaves and takes all the money. That's happened to myself. That's happened to so many people that I know here. So the great thing, why I felt safe in joining Gift of Legacy, or our precursor, was that Gift of Legacy is decentralized, which means Gift of Legacy is not a company, it's not an institution, it's not a broker, and it's not a trader. The only reason that it's hosted on a website is to connect all of us. So all it does is connect the gifters and the receivers across the world. Remember, there are, I think at the moment, we're heading to 11,000 members. Well, just on our group, sorry, on the Telegram group, but I think we're 30,000.
Yeah.
30,000 members. We need a way to keep in contact. And that's what the website does. So you're not putting your money onto a website. It's literally just a platform, and you'll check it out. It's so much fun. That connects all of us to say, hey, Petra, it's your time to gift Tim. It's your time to gift Tandy, whoever it is. And that's a really cool thing. So all you need to be involved is that you need a computer and a smartphone, and then WhatsApp and Telegram are absolutely essential because those are the communication platforms. So that's how we keep in touch and share information. And that's it. Peer-to-peer is another fun thing. So remember, we're not an institution, a company, an organization, a broker, or a trader. So how do we gift each other? Well, it's peer-to-peer, which means that this beautiful algorithm that we have that contains my name and surname, my contact details, when it's my turn to gift you, it will tell me, hey, Petra, this is the person that you're gifting. I'll reach out to you, send you a WhatsApp or an email or a Telegram message and say, hey, this is me. I've just landed on your board. Where can I gift you your $100 or whatever it is? And you'll turn around and say to me, hey, P, that's amazing. Please send it to my Wise account or my crypto account, or if we're in the same country, bank-to-bank transfer, whatever the platforms are, it's peer-to-peer. So 100% of my gift comes straight to you. So there's no third party controlling the money, which makes this 100% risk-free. So that's really cool. How does it get better than that? So exciting. Well, this is how it gets better. It's perpetual. So perpetual, of course, means ongoing, nonstop, and passive. So as long as you're part of this community, you will keep giving and keep receiving on and on and on and on, over and over and over and over for generations to come. And that's another thing that I love, is that because it's perpetual, you can gift this on to someone. You can leave this in your will for someone. So for our girls, and by girls I mean my dogs, they've got their own trust fund, which means should something happen, God forbid, to Craig and myself simultaneously, they have a trust fund that they can be looked after until, you know, with all their medical needs, all their food, that they've got a good home, etc. But you can look after your families, you can look after nonprofits, of course. Just one thing, 365, the nonprofits in there as well. So this is beautiful, is that you can keep blessing people, institutions, organizations into abundance long after you've left this planet. So this is so much fun. So we are more than just a gifting economy. We are people that share the same heart to make a difference in the lives of others. And as I mentioned, it is so simple. Tim's going to go through it with you, but in essence, we help each other grow and succeed while supporting each other and uplifting each other, which is so cool. We're each other's biggest cheerleaders, which you'll find out soon. So all we do is that we give from the heart, and then we share the love with each other. You'll see, you know, we only need to share it with two people that are like-minded and like-hearted, but I don't shut up. I will tell anyone, because why would I not? I've told the Uber drivers that are joining, which is so cool. And of course, I'm picky, I'm selective. I see what, you know, the energy that we get. And I know that, again, that sounds very woo, but I have a look. If we have a good connection, then I'll probably tell you about this. So we share the love, then we guide our team. All this will make sense now. And then when you become the legend, this is when you build your legacy. And we support those around us. So thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being with me. Tim, I'm handing over to you so you can share the magic that is Gifted Legacy.
Thank you. All the whys, the why being the reason and the whys being wisdom, which Petra just gone through. But let's break it down and talk about some numbers and some specifics. And I do come from a corporate background, so I do relate to it a little bit in corporate. Also come from a networking background as well. However, what I'm speaking about isn't business, and it isn't network marketing. It's not pyramid schemes, it's not multi-level marketing, but bringing in some of that knowledge and experience really does help you fast track and take advantage of what is possible. So where do we begin? Now, there's two requirements. Let's just cut straight to it. Two requirements. Number one, $100. That's it, $100. The second requirement is share it with somebody else. Now, why would you share it with somebody else? Let's see if it's worthwhile. $100 gets you into the self-perpetuating system. This is the one and only time you take money from your pocket. You gift it, as Petra said, directly to somebody else. Now you're going to need to learn a few new skills. How to send money internationally. Now you can't send it from a South African bank account to a bank account in Russia or Ukraine. It's just not feasible. It takes far too long, far too costly, and it's in the banking system, and we like to be outside of that. And there's various ways you can do it. Learn about airtime, Wise, World Remit, Revolut, bank transfers in your local currency, and then also Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is the big one. Now, if you don't know how to use these, that's fine. We'll help teach you. That's part of the education. So that's the first thing you do. $100, and you gift it to somebody else. You're never going to lose your money. Why? Because you're actually giving it to somebody and you uplift them. So it's not an investment. Don't sit back and do nothing. Well, you can if you want, but you're going to wait a long time, and I do not recommend it. So in writing the boards of abundance, what does that mean? We're going to follow this little yellow circle. I'm going to show you how it works on the journey. When you start, you're going to gift somebody $100. You're going to share it with other people. And what the goal is, or the objective, is to get onto all 4 boards. Now, what's a board? I'm going to show you that. You're going to go through 4 different levels. Now, there's a lot of information I'm going to share with you, so you may want to come back and either watch this recording or join one of the other Zooms, and there's different presenters Monday to Friday, and also in multiple different languages as well. So if my accent in South Africa irritates you, you think those guys speak weird, I'm sure it's already being presented in your country as well. Now, there's some big numbers on here. $100 in, would a return of $42,700 be good enough to mitigate the risk of losing your $100? Perhaps $49,700 if you're a person with big dreams. Let's see if those numbers actually play out and if they're possible for you. Now, I've been involved in many different platforms over the last 6 years since I was involved in cryptocurrencies. I've had very expensive education lessons, and I did not want to go through any more. So when I first heard about gifting, it really piqued my interest as solving a lot of the problems. And Petra has been through them. So this is what a board looks like. You'll notice in the bottom, there's gifter, builder, guide, and in the middle, the legend. The legend is the one that receives the gifts. Now there's somebody on the call who says, it's a pyramid scheme. It's one of those Ponzi things. People at the top make all the money. Well, yes, people at the top, if you say legend is at the top, does get the money. But then that legend goes down to the bottom and starts all over again and gives somebody else a turn. So the pyramid scheme argument does not go far. Let's show you how it works. You start with $100. You gift the legend. Once you've finished the board, you get $800 out. Now that number I liked, and here's how it works. You're going to follow that yellow $100 there. That's you. You've joined. Petra's already described what you do. The algorithm, the system is purely there to introduce you to the legend so that you can then speak to them, WhatsApp, email, whatever it may be, on how you're going to gift the legend the money. What happens is 8 gifters are needed on each board. So different people, that's the builder, bring in their 2. Remember, that's the second thing you do. $100 once off and 2 people once off. Never again. You can do a lot more if you want, and as Petra's described, but that's the minimum. You bring 2 people in. You introduce it. That's the way that economies work. You share and you grow. Once 8 gifts have been received by the legend, the board splits, it cycles, it rotates. You then move up to the next level. Now, I'll show you just now what happened to that legend. I'll explain for that for the moment when you get there. What's your job as a builder? Well, what do builders do? Builders grow. So this is when you introduce your 2. So you there would introduce your 2. That builder introduced their 2. That builder introduced their 2, and so on. Once all 8 gifts have been received, the board then cycles or splits again. You are then going to move up to the next position. So that board that you were on is now complete. It goes, bye-bye, gone. Now you've got 2 new boards as you've then moved up to guide. What's your role as guide? Your role as guide is to help the 2 people that you introduced bring in their 2. As simple as that. I was asked the other day, but Tim, what do I do when I become a gifter? How do I speak to people? And I said, well, do you remember what I said to you? Yes, of course. You sent me a 7-minute video and said, have a look at this. If it interests you, come back to me. I said, okay, can you do that? She said, of course I can. I said, that's all you do. And keep it simple. It does not have to be complicated. 8 gifters are going to come in as each builder brings in their 2. Now, there's a powerful thing called perpetual, which I'll speak to you about now, which can really help these boards move. That's another story, which is what makes GL so different from other gifting economies. So once 8 gifts have been brought in, you get very excited because now is your chance to be a legend. You see, what has happened is that legend has now left this $100 board and moved on, so allowing 2 new guides to go to legend. So you've gone to a legend, as is that guide over there, also gone to legend, but on their own board. What happens now? This is when you sit back and you say, guys, absolute wonderful. Your 2 people you've introduced are now guides helping their people come in. And just a matter of simple system duplicated. 8 gifts come in for you to receive $800. But it doesn't end there. You see, $800 is great. But as with any organization, as with any country, any system, any business, the flow of cash is needed. Money's needed to flow to avoid a recession. If you take that $800 and run, the system comes to a grinding halt. You say $800 is nice, but is it life-changing? It's good. It's going to plug a hole, but we don't want to plug a hole. We want to change lives forever. So what you're going to do is you're going to look after some of that, because that belongs in the economy of GL to keep it flowing. The first thing you're going to do is take 400 of that money that you were gifted, and you're going to gift the legend on the next board. Remember, there's 4 boards. So the next board is $400. You're also going to gift $100 back to a new legend on a perpetual board. Now, what does that mean? This is your opportunity to be earning that perpetual ongoing income. That means it leaves you $300 in your pocket that you can do whatever you want with. Here's the perpetual system. Now, you're already on the $400 board. So every time that you go through the same cycle, the same process, 8 gifters and then it splits, 8 gifters, it splits. Once you're legend, you're not taking $400 onto the next board because you're already on it. So that means you get to keep $700. Now, I've done this, and my life, it's so much more exciting to have $700 in your pocket at the end of the perpetual $100 board than only $300. So you just want to get there, and there's no reason why it will ever end. The next process on a $400 board follows exactly the same. It's only the number that's different. Now, you've brought in your 2 already. So you don't have to bring in 2 on the next board, because the only influence we have on the speed of how this works and the speed the $400 board is going to work is by you making sure that your people you brought in, who are now legends on their own board, know how to bring their people in, have brought their people in, have brought their people in. That's where the power comes, is on the $100 board. So you don't ever have to bring in 2 more people. But as Petra said, when you get excited about this, why would you stop? You just share. You see, the more people you share with, the faster they are going to follow you, because everybody follows you. Everybody follows you. The strong ship at the top is just going to bring everybody else along. $400 in, $3,200 out. You're going to keep $1,600 aside. You're just guarding that. You're looking after it. You don't put in your bank account. I'd advise you set up a separate bank account. Very easy these days to do. A little savings account. You can organize one online or pop in the bank and they'll do it. Put that money aside when you receive it so that you don't go and spend it. You see, $3,200 is a lot, but you want the bigger numbers. $1,600 you keep aside and $400 aside as well for the 400 perpetual board. Now, your 100 perpetual board is spinning. That's going. That's going. You can keep adding people if you choose to. Otherwise, be on the board. You can see your perpetual board. Motivate the people. Help them. Encourage the new gifters and the builders who are on there to bring in their too. Then you're going to influence your $400 and your $1,600. Now, $1,200 is what you get to keep in your pocket. That starts making a little bit of a difference. What gets more exciting is the perpetual boards of the 400, and I've done this as well. And wow, it's so powerful that now you're keeping $2,800 every time that you cycle through the perpetual $400. Does $2,800, whatever in currency in the world you're on, does that make a difference? And while I think about it now, the base currency that we use is dollars. So wherever you are in the world, you're going to convert that back into your local currency. So in South Africa, the exchange rate today is 15.20, I believe. So that means $100 will be 1,520 Rand will be gifted. And you do it based upon the exchange rate of that day, making sure you as the gifter cover any transfer costs. Just the same as giving a gift to somebody, a parcel, you package something, you give it including the wrapping paper. You don't say, here's your gift, but pay me for the wrapping paper. So you're always going to cover the costs of the transfer. And that's where cryptocurrencies comes in, especially when it's a big number, because the fees are so much smaller. But let's get back onto the exciting part here and have a look at some numbers, because now I've caught your attention, because now you're looking at this and going, is this true? And you're going to be meeting some people very shortly, which is why I'm talking fast. $1,600 gives you entry to your 3rd board, the gold board. $12,800 when you leave, but $5,000 of that, $5,000, you're going to gift onto somebody probably that you've never met. Somebody could be on the other side of the world. It could even be local. It could be somebody that you know, but unlikely. As this grows, it's all over the world. And you're holding $1,600 back. Now you've got $6,200 in your pocket. Now you're starting to make a difference. You're involved in charities and your communities. It's not only about you, it's about everybody else. The perpetual system of the $1,600 board gives you $11,200 in your pocket at the end. How does it get even better than that? So let's see the reality of the $5,000 board. 5,000 in, 8 gifters. Once you're a legend, you get $40,000. This is just leads to what about being told? GL insomnia, because now you're just lying awake at night going, how on earth can I help other people in achieving this? It's the last board. So you're not gifting anything else on. The only thing you're doing is holding back $5,000 to be on the perpetual $5,000 board. Every time that you go through a $5,000, you're putting $35,000 in your pocket. Here's a recap. Once you're on a perpetual $100 board, and remember it costs you $100 once off ever to get on the board, and thereafter it's purely the gifted funds or money that you get that gets cycled in the system. And that's how we maintain the integrity over and over and over. You can read those numbers on that board. Let's recap a little bit. I've been through some of these big things here for you. You need to be part of the system. Don't expect to sit here and do nothing, or bring in your cat and your dog, or your granny and your grandpa. Well, because then you're going to be managing their accounts. It works on 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. There's no fancy binary system payouts. It is wonderfully simple. I never understood those in a lot of the networks I was involved in. Here, you don't have that. It's simply bring in 2 like-minded people who are going to do the same as you, and that is bringing in 2. The first round, 42,000. The second round, the second round, $49,700. But those numbers are actually understated. The numbers are actually bigger than that. Very difficult to work out because you think you're on 4 boards at the same time, but they're each cycling at different rates. That's when the gifts start going from monthly to weekly to daily, and yes, as Petra said, even hourly. So you decide, is it worth it? I can't tell you that. I'm here because, from my perspectives, it is. The rest's your choice. So I'm going to hand back over to Petra.
Thank you, Tim. Look, absolutely. We can't say that it is worth your while. You'll have to decide for yourself. And so many questions we get as well, how long will it take to get there? You know what? Even if it takes me a year to receive 47, what is it? Go back. I have to get the number right. Please go back. $49,700. Even if it takes me a year, even if it takes me 2 years to receive this, and all I've done is gifted $100 and shared it with 2 people, 2 like-minded, like-hearted people that have gotten involved, for me, it's been worth my while. I haven't gotten on those big boards yet, but it's coming. So I have experienced this. We've experienced these boards, so which is absolutely beautiful. So on the next slide, so the recap is pretty much what Tim said, and what I've said. It's $100, an unconditional gift that you give someone else. So you are blessing someone. It's not going into a system. It's not going into a company or organization. Your gift is blessing someone else. So that's the exciting thing. And then sharing it with 2 like-hearted, 2 like-minded individuals that are going to do the same. And that's really what it is. If you do not, if you've gifted in and you don't invite 2 people to join you, then you'll be sidelined when you get to legend. So you'll receive your gifts, but you won't be able to move onto the perpetual board or to your $400 board and continuing, which is where the life-changing stuff happens. All that will happen is that you'll just be put on a little pause on the side until you can catch your breath, until you can invite your people to come on board. Once you do, the system will pick it up and you'll be slotted back in where you left. So you won't lose out, but stay connected, stay plugged in. And the same for the perpetual as well. Once you receive your gift, and as Tim shared, you hold back a portion so you can re-gift or gift forward onto another board, onto another legend, someone else that's going to be receiving your gift. If you don't do that, you won't be able to continue perpetually. So just stay in that energy, or stay in that space of continuing the momentum and the growth, because that's where we are. So that's pretty much in a nutshell this slide. You can have a read or hop onto one of the other calls, definitely. So what makes us unique? Well, user-friendly, so there's a unique personal profile, which is really informative and easy to use in the back office. Fail-safe system, so there are various methods that the algorithm uses to keep the boards moving, to keep that beautiful energy going. So you'll find out about those as we go. Innovative algorithm, which takes care of new participants while rewarding existing participants. So that has got a lot to do with our cross-pollination, which is everyone across the globe, is that wherever there are gaps, the algorithm is designed to fill in those gaps so that the boards don't get stuck for long. So yes, they might not move for a few days or a couple of weeks, but they are going to move, and that's the great thing. Global community. So of course, because there are now over 80 countries, different cultures, different languages, please let's be in a space where we are kind, considerate, compassionate to each other. Again, not limited to 2, but you only need a minimum of 2. But why would you not want to share it with more? And then the support team available at giftoflegacyglobal.com on the live chat will answer questions you have pertaining to Gift of Legacy, your Gift of Legacy account. Please don't spam the support team with things like, we got a question from someone about how do I change the little flag icon. That's not a Gift of Legacy concern. So we want to make sure that we're helping you with your movement throughout the boards and your people as well. And then fast tracking as well, multiple strategies. If you're that type of person, if you've got the gifts ready, that you can fast track right through all the boards. So there's in-depth explanation on the training videos on YouTube. But just quickly, so this is where if you've invited 4 invitees instead of just the 2, the silver board unlocks for you, the $400 board, even though you're on the starter board. Also, if you've got 6 invitees now that have come on board and you've got the gift available, you've got the $1,600 available, the gold board unlocks. So even if you're on the bronze board, you can fast track through the silver, the gold, and then the same to the platinum board if you've got 8 confirmed invitees that are active participants. So we're not looking for space fillers. We're looking for active participants that are going to be plugging in and helping the community grow. Really important is that we share it with like-hearted, like-minded people only. Please, promoting on social media is not permitted because we want the like-hearted, like-minded individuals. We don't want scammers on here. We don't want people that don't have a growth mindset. We don't want people here that are going to take and not give back. So no social media. This is peer-to-peer, relationship to relationship. No filling spaces, as I mentioned. We need to be able to keep this, keep duplicating so that we can keep flowing easily. And bring in magic builders, not space fillers. Be the messenger, not the message. You don't need to try and explain all of this that Tim and myself have explained, especially Tim's part. Please don't go and draw this to explain it for the first time. When you speak to someone, don't try, just invite them to join you on a call. And then they can make up their minds for themselves. And yes, what we suggest is that you come onto at least 3 Zooms a week. The reason being, this needs to go from your head, from trying to figure out the numbers and the how, into a deeper understanding of, okay, this is what gifting is about, so that you get that internal excitement, because that's how you share easily. You're not trying to figure out the how, you're sharing from a place of enthusiasm and passion. And once you get the why, once it drops into your heart, you'll be able to share and bless other people easily. And then lots of training. The AIDA system, step-by-step system, is one of the trainings on our YouTube channel that you can watch there as well. And it's how to chat with people, how to connect with them. In closing, it's important to understand that there are no guarantees. So we're not saying this to get off scot-free. We are saying this because, like anything in life, I'm going through rehabilitation for my shoulder and the neck, and my neck because I had a few injuries. Craig, who, as Tim said, owns a gym, owns a CrossFit box. He's my personal trainer, very patient. He's so great. We've got all the equipment. He's got the schedule. If I don't pitch up, nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to get better. If I pitch up and I don't do the work there, nothing's going to happen. So there are no guarantees because it's up to you. It's up to each participant and how we show up and how involved we are and how we stay plugged in. So your willingness to help others and follow the ethical principles of Gift of Legacy. That is so important. please report anyone that you come across that is not showing up ethically. That's not the people that we want in the space. So it remains all of our individual participants' responsibilities to ensure compliance to tax laws in the country. So that's on you. Pay to Caesar what Caesar is due. And again, just a reminder that Gift of Legacy is a decentralized platform with no third-party affiliation. So again, this is why we're looking for people of integrity, because if someone in the community approaches you and says, hey, I've started this other sideline thing, it's moving even quicker, you can just gift me directly and then I'll place you on a position. No. So please be aware of that, because this is peer-to-peer. Once you land on a board, the algorithm tells you who your legend is. Make sure that it's the legend. Again, don't just go throwing money at people. Everything is there. The algorithm has the information. That's all you need to do is follow it. So just a little heads up there. And yeah, peer-to-peer, no funds ever get paid to the platform, as we said, which is beautiful. So it's always given to the Gift of Legacy participants when landing on the Legends board. So I hope that you've enjoyed it so far. Please take a screenshot of this. You can also find it on our information group on Telegram, the Gift of Legacy info group, which is all our different calls. You can see there Afrikaans, German, Spanish. There's Portuguese that's in the works, Finnish as well. Maria's here, Italian, French, and so many more. But pop onto the Telegram group, the info group, and you'll see everyone just keeps posting the times. The Spanish group is starting just now. These are the only 3 official community Telegram groups that we have. Please don't go join others. Lots of people are spinning off and creating their own, which is fine. But this is where you'll get the official information. So if someone's sharing something else in another group that doesn't align with what we're saying here, please disregard that. This is the info we're sharing. Alrighty. So please make sure that you're plugged into these. Okay, you can take a screenshot of that as well. Those are the Telegram groups for the others as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Please go back to your inviter, whoever invited you, ask them the questions that you have. You know, they're the ones that trusted to invite you on here. So honor them and trust them enough by going back to them, whether you're keen, whether you're not, it doesn't matter, but just honor them and say, you know, ask them the questions. That's what I did with my inviter. I asked her a gazillion questions. Like I said, I wasn't sure. I was doubtful. I had my skepticism brain clicking in the background. And I just went back and back, and then she did the same. So ask the questions and then hop on other calls. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Enjoy sharing on a Wednesday evening. And please do join again as we've described. Let's finish on a high note with some amazing real life testimonials. So I believe that we have, who's joining us now? Okay, Christian, hello.
We have Chris and Despina. Welcome, guys. Just a little intro. Chris and Despina are from APN, the Animal Protection Network. They're one of our beneficiaries, my own personal one, as well as Just One Thing 365s over the last few years. And they were also one of my first invitees. That's how I started. I just started by reaching out to people that were doing great work in the lives of others, animals and humans alike in the communities. And just seeing them here, traveling with us on this journey and receiving abundantly, and how they're just stepping up, it has been beautiful, and they're sharing with so many people. So Chris Despina, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let us know what.
Thank you for putting us on the spot. Yeah. But the one thing that I tell you is that if somebody told me 6 months ago that I'd be presenting to over 170 strangers, you know, I wouldn't have thought that. You know, no, we just thought we're on this journey of abundance. Yeah, but I suppose, yeah, we all got a sort of story to tell. Yeah, so like Petra says, obviously been in the welfare sort of community, and she obviously realized that it is quite a tough job to run a NPC welfare community. You've got to put in a lot of time, and yeah, so obviously Petra thought about us and said, you know, we're working hard, but, you know, here's maybe some other option to look at that can help you, bring in a little extra. Because I suppose the difficult thing is when you're running a welfare, you never really know where you're going to be getting those funds from, and you can't really budget anything, you know. So it's almost like as you're rescuing a sick animal, you're using those funds up to rehabilitate, because obviously we've got feeding schemes as well. So, you know, you're trying to balance everything. We also look after a little outreach program, one of the townships up the road here, where we do the welfare checks and feeding. And so obviously with the gift of legacy, you know, we're trying to look at better ways now that you can actually, once you're receiving all these gifts, you can actually start doing actual work that will have an effect, a long-term effect, as opposed to like going in every month, feeding, doing welfare type checks, and where you actually want to do you know, something that will last further on. So Petra's been generous enough to help us in some of our projects. So with her gifts, we've managed to like sterilize over 30 animals. You know, because every time you go into a township, there's another litter puppy waiting for you. So one's got to try and get through those, because we're not a shelter. You know, we're purely a rescue. So you know, so we also rely on other people to help us
with funds.
Yeah, with funds and fostering, and you know, then obviously in the end try and find homes for all these animals that need a second chance at some love and care. Because unfortunately you do see quite sort of horrific things. But yeah, so Petra obviously introduced us to Gift of Legacy, and yeah, we basically on the journey. And you know, as we start receiving more gifts as we move along the journey, then we can start doing a lot more things. I mean, at the moment we do work out of the sort of Alberton South area, but you know, once you're receiving more abundantly, you can spread out and help other shelters and organizations, and you know, you don't have to just look after your own. And I suppose this is what it's all about: is sharing and gifting wherever you can, and assisting wherever you can. Yeah, so that's really our sort of journey. We're almost at the top of the $400, so that will definitely start helping a lot.
Amazing.
Yeah, so at least we can start doing things a little better. And I mean, we used to like, one of the stories is really you know, we used to do like jumble sales, so people used to donate things, and I promise you, you don't realize how much people are actually willing to give. And there's been a lot of unfortunate people that have been migrating, downscaling. So you've been receiving a lot of jumble gifts, and that so much so that you don't have enough time to, or you know, you can't move the stuff quick enough, because you sell 3 things and you're getting 10 things back in. You know? And that was like really taking over, because we used to store everything here at the house. It was really starting to like sort of take over the garages and into the rooms and things like that. And even when we had jumble sales, you used to wake up at like 4:30 in the morning just to get ready, and the guys are waiting outside here at like 5:45, you know, waiting to buy things. And so we've been blessed, because we've had a lot of people that have actually come and attended to our jumbles, our markets, but now so the jumble, we sort of moved over, so now we can at least try and concentrate on the Gift of Legacy side to build that up, so at least we can start freeing up a lot of other things as well.
We can help shelters and rescues, and
guys,
you know, Chris has taken out one for APM, And then I took out one for shelters and rescue. So it's not actually onto one shelter. Any shelter that needs funds, I can say, okay, here's funds for your shelter. But Chris has taken out one for APN. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's
Thank you. I just wanted to share what you're doing there, because people don't know that. So Chris and Despina, when they're saying that they've taken out more, so they've actually gifted other profiles for other organizations. So if you've been hearing everything they're talking about gifts coming in is to help others. And that's why I want to see you guys just go through the 400, the 16, the 5,000, because, you know, you need that oxygen mask on yourself. And that's why I always encourage, you know, everyone here, you're here to help yourselves, but your hearts are there to help others. And that's why we want to, you know, make sure that you do have that oxygen mask, that you do receive those gifts so that you can keep helping. So thank you. Thank you so much.
It's such a wonderful feeling, because when you receive a gift, you know, you like in such awe and excitement that you just want to take the money and you want to give it to that person, and then you want to give it to that person, and you know, before you realize it, you go, hell no, wait, now I've got to go on to the next board, you know, type of thing. So yeah, get carried away.
Giving away. Oh, that's beautiful.
Like I say, even you know, I mean, even you guys have sort of given us confidence in also. I mean, we've done our own sort of with our people that have wanted us to come and give a little talk as well when they've introduced people. You know, in the past, you know, you just used to listen and push it on, but like it's also helped us to like sort of become more confident and you know, just chatting to complete strangers and trying to share this journey as well.
But you meet a lot of friends through the journey.
Yeah.
And it's such an inspiration when you go to people's houses and you actually tell them your journey and how it started. And thanks to Petra. Love you, girl. You're my inspiration, eh?
Yeah.
Amazing, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. And Chris, you never know. Next time you're going to be speaking, it's going to be 500 people, not 170.
Not 100.
You never know. A year ago, we were talking on our Zooms to 20 people, and we were getting excited. The growth is phenomenal, and it shows the need out there as well.
Look, I must say, the first Zoom call up, we came on, and we saw these people, and we thought, no, these people are on something, because they were like, hot. We say, no, what if we joined you? You know, it's like it's a cult. I'm sure it's a cult.
That's, well, you know,
a year later.
Yeah, I often say that in this environment, we brainwash people, because most people need their brain washed.
Yes, we see it that way. Yeah,
let's get a fresh approach. So,
yeah,
no, fantastic.
You know, it's such an amazing journey. I went onto one board, and a very nice person actually, sponsored me with one board. So I took that board out, and I did it especially for the shelters and the rescues of the animals. And it's thanks to him for giving me that sponsorship. Very grateful.
Yeah. Be blessed.
That's an amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. So on that note, we're going to say good night. We're on our 9 o'clock on the dot. So I'm going to bid it.
Time flies, eh?
Wonderful. Keep it up. It's absolutely amazing being in this environment. Petra, as always, privileged to be sharing the screen with you, or the stage.
Mm-hmm. And you too.
Yeah, and everybody else who's here tomorrow evening, and join all the other calls as well. The training on Saturday, and Petra and I will be back same time, same place. Well, I won't be. In fact, I'm in Mossel Bay.
What?
So anybody want to from tomorrow off to Mossel Bay? Anybody want to do a gathering in Mossel Bay? We're going to get together at some point. I know.
Have fun. Telegram Tim for sure. You want to meet him in person. He's like Jack Johnson, like a chilled surfer guy. So definitely go meet him. Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have an abundantly blessed week ahead, and definitely hop onto the calls tomorrow. I'm not too sure who's on tomorrow. And then Friday, get yourself some more meaty stuff, invite your people that you care about. And then for Tim and Melissa on Saturday, please be there. You don't want to miss out. So thank you. Mwah. We love you, and have a good evening, everyone.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Bye. Bye.